Here we are again every Thursday going live on YouTube. I'm going to take these off again. I love the room because there's windows all around with sun, and I'm grateful for that, but it makes a glare. So I'm going to take this off. Of course, I can't see anything without my glasses, but anyway, at least you won't have to look at the glare. Um, Let me put these back on, make sure I'm on. Okay, I'm on. Just double checking. Um, I'm not going to talk about anything specific, I don't think, today. Now, last week we talked about not lying to ourselves. In other words, we make a commitment to ourselves, whether it's a New Year's resolution or what. If we say we're going to do this or that, we really need to do it, or else we lose confidence in our own selves. Subconsciously, then we don't even believe our own selves. So, this is real important. It's something I have to work on all the time. Instead of saying, well, maybe for my business, I'm going to make 15 calls a day, which some days I could do 15 calls, and other days maybe not. So it's not realistic. If I say I'll make 3 calls today to try to help somebody, then that's reasonable. And if I can't do it because I get sick or something else happens, things happen sometimes. Today it's my dog. He's got a really bad leg. So I'm going to be taking up extra time with him, but I still should be able to make 3 calls. You see what I'm saying? No matter what happens, if you say I'm going to lose 100 pounds, you get discouraged because here you are the first couple of weeks, you're not losing anything maybe, or maybe just a couple pounds. And then it seems like it's just too much. So you make yourself small goals that you can do, and then that will subconsciously help you believe in yourself. And then yesterday on the stress management Facebook page that I have, I basically just talked about uh, resting and relaxing, that even science has proven that we need to rest and relax. We need to be outdoors. We need to do these things. And so many of these things don't even cost anything. We need to eat right. We need to follow what we call with doTERRA the health pyramid. And I learned this same kind of thing in first grade. I don't think they put on their chemical, because part of our health pyramid is to get rid of chemicals. But because chemicals didn't seem to be a problem there, but I started school in what? I was born in 45, so I must have started school about 51 or something. It wasn't until the 60s that they started adding chemicals and stuff to our food even. I'm just sad. So, but whatever we decide we're going to do, we need to do in small amounts that we can believe. If I say, okay, I'm going to win the Boston Marathon in 5 years, no, maybe I could do that for my age group. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I have no desire. I'm just using this as an example. But if this month I say, okay, because I've done 5Ks. I did a 10K, but it's been a while. We did a 5K a month or so ago. We're going to do another one in February. So then I need to say, well, okay, by March or April, I'll do a 10K. And that means I've got to walk, say 4 or 5 miles a day, 3 or 4 times a week. If I say every day, things come up. I'm not going to do it every day. Sometimes, like I had a call yesterday from a daughter of somebody, a longtime friend of mine who's bipolar, not schizophrenic, but there's something else, another word there, schizo something. Anyway, she's off her meds from the daughter. So no matter what plans I had, I would have taken time with this 20-some-year-old daughter who's concerned about her mother. So these are sometimes the things that come up that, okay, so then I'm not going to exercise today because in my morning time that I usually do my exercise again, I had this call. And I want to be able to feel free to do that without feeling bad about myself or damaging my own self-image. She was more important yesterday than the exercising at that time. Now, I could have done some exercising later, but I wouldn't have done as much if I planned to do 4 or 5 miles. I'm not going to do 4 or 5 miles later. So what I've done is that now I can do a little bit of Tai Chi for 10 to 20 minutes because I've got 2021 saved. Uh, so I can just pop in and use one. Some are half hour, but I very rarely do those ones. Um, and I also do that interval training. So what that is you walk in place for 45 seconds and then you run in place for 15. And I can do that watching the news at night or something. Say if I don't get my exercise done in the morning, I can do something like that. Doesn't mean I'm going to, but at least maybe I can so that I get some exercise in. But to do 4 or 5 miles every single day, as busy as I am, and people calling, it's not going to happen. So you see, what I'm doing is just giving you examples. When you set goals, make sure they're realistic and something that maybe you will do. And if you're not going to, and if you say 7 days a week, nobody does everything 7 days a week, I don't think. Just life shows up, and sometimes we just need a break. Sometimes I just say, especially if it's a Sunday when I have more time to exercise, sometimes you say, hey, I worked hard all week. I don't want to. And this again, quite often, I don't do the things I say I'm going to do, and then that keeps my self-image. I can't count on myself because I'm not doing. So I'm just working on this myself, especially this year. Um, so hopefully you can work on that. I hope it makes sense to you because we're talking about stress and relaxation. That's my main emphasis as far as the joy coaching is concerned. There's about a dozen things that I can help people with, but this is going to be my main emphasis because I think people, number one, are committing suicide. I mean, it's just horrible. It's not just drug addicts. People, I mean, it's just horrible. People, and part of that is because we have these unrealistic expectations of ourselves. I'm not saying that's everybody that commits suicide, but we do get depressed when we're expecting more of ourselves than what we can do. So let's try to work on that. Be realistic so that we can build confidence in ourselves. And there's an essential oil that Dr. Sue made the recipe for. It's called I'm Enough. And it's a combination of rose and jasmine. So it helps you, you can, in fact, today, I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to. I'm going to put some oils in my diffuser to help me. I woke up with a little bit of a backache, and I gave my oils and stuff, and the backache went away, but I'm not quite up to par today. So I'm going to put in a couple of oils. There's several recipes to help me be energetic and motivated so I can get done what I need to do today. And I'm going to invite you. Some of the things I'm going to work on today. Tomorrow I have a cherishing group. And I like to send oils to you. I like to know you're going to come for a couple weeks ahead. Of course, I'm going to do one a month, the last Friday of every month. So I'll do one at the end of next month too. But if you're interested in something like that, either look at my joycoachjudy.com website or go to my mail, joycoach.judy with an I at gmail.com. Or call 480-798-4740. That's 480-798-4740, and that's Chandler, Arizona. These things can be done here or they can be done online. And I'm doing more online than I used to do because it seems to be that's what people want. So that's what I'm doing. But as far as the joy coaching, in addition to the stress, which everybody in this country, I think, has stress, and none of us relax enough. Well, maybe some do, but not very many. And we're not talking about people that lay in bed all day and are lazy. We're talking about people that do too much. We don't relax enough. And most of us do too much. So that's my main emphasis. Originally, when I started joy coaching, my main emphasis was going to be helping addicts. But I've kind of changed now. But I still help addicts. I'm an addict myself. I've been clean, if I make it to May, it'll be 36 years. I've got over 35 years. And I've sponsored girls and gone to meetings and all these things. Um, Plus the training I've had with the Joy Coaching Academy. So I can definitely help addicts. Also, then the other one was grief, because all the years I had my massage business, I was also working with elderly. And I've had to help the elderly and their families with grief, because sometimes they would lose somebody, even though they're old themselves. Maybe they lost a husband or a wife or something like that, but also they're grieving the loss of their old life. Their grief can come in all colors. We can grieve the loss of a pet, the loss of a job, the loss of a home, or maybe just moving. Sometimes we have to move because a job transfers us. But there's a grief because our home was over here. All our friends are over here. Yeah, we're adults, but we still grieve. Certainly children do. They really don't like being away from friends. It's tough. So children can grieve also. And then with Joy Coaching, I can help people with PTSD. Between Joy Coaching Academy and Dr. Sue, I've learned quite a bit about PTSD. And we know now that it's not just soldiers that have PTSD. Women who have been, not just women, because this happens to guys too when they're young, people that have been molested as a child suffer horrible PTSD. Or if parents are violent, even with each other, if they're not violent with us. I had that in the home. Our parents were strict in those days. Sometimes they'd take a switch to and stuff, but I mean, we were never beat up, that kind of thing. But the parents were violent with each other. So my sister and I said, we feel like we both had PTSD from that. And I was molested as a kid too. So, and then back in the day, nobody really tried to help you emotionally. Oh, kids, they just get over things. Well, they don't. Kids that suffer from trauma of any sort grow up to be sick individuals if they're not helped. So we can help adults or children. Sometimes I can even help people with their pets. I don't think I'm that good at, like today I helped my dog because we played ball outside and all of a sudden he's limping. I don't know, he's had a problem with a leg before because he just does. He was born with bad hips. So he had an injury with ligaments, etc. before, and now it's happened several times. Just played ball, that's all. And so I help him with oils. But I can't say that I can help dogs with their emotional problems, because sometimes, and this dog came to me with emotional problems. I won't go into that, but I was able to help him. But I lived with him. So I don't know if I could help your dog, but I can help you figure out what to do with your dog if he's traumatized in some way or another. And sometimes we can figure out even what it is, and they can't tell us, but it's prayer, meditation, muscle testing. We could figure out what it is that's wrong sometimes. And I don't make any big guarantees there, but certainly with humans, we can be of benefit. And we use all 5 senses with the Joy Coaching, which includes oils for smell and even taste sometimes, because I can put a drop of lemon oil in water, or I give a piece of Dove chocolate at the end of a session. But most of it's music and song. You have an anointing and a blessing, and people are helped. It's just an amazing gift, and I'm grateful that I spent the last 3 years studying with Joy Coaching Academy, because I learned stuff that I would never have learned. And it's different than going to college for psychology. Not that there's not a need for that, because I've got definitely counseling is a valuable experience for most of us if we're willing to make changes, and willing to look at ourselves. And it's the same thing with Joy Coaching, but we use all 5 senses. And so it's just a different technique, and it's all done natural. There's no meds prescribed. I know a lot of times people have trouble with that. My own daughter, bipolar, and she the meds they put her on kept her asleep. So I suggested she ask the doctor to cut down on the meds, and we were using some oils for her bipolar with the meds. And anyway, she cut out all the meds, did not tell me until like 6 or 8 months later. But anyway, she no longer sleeps all the time. She is working, and she's off of drugs. I mean, that's another thing. If you want to be helped, you really need to stay clean. If you happen to have a problem with alcohol and drugs, doesn't mean you can't have a glass of wine here and there. We're talking if there's an abuse of alcohol or drugs, you can come in for all kinds of joy coaching things, but you're not going to be helped. You're not going to have maximum help unless you get clean. And I can help people with that. I'm toying with the idea of doing in-home recovery, which is done online. Kind of toying with the idea. If anybody's out there and might be interested in that, let me know. Here again, I already gave you my numbers and everything. And I have several Facebook pages, and I've got the website, and I've got the email. And I'm going under everything Joy Coach Judy, just because I was advised that that's catchy and people will remember it. So no matter where you're going, if you have Joy Coach Judy as something, probably you'll remember 2 J's. And I always, when I'm writing my name cursive, I put the happy face in the J. But of course, online and everything, there's my phone. I'm just going to turn it off because I think it's a telemarketer. Sorry about that. I meant to turn it off before I got on. But anyway, I'm basically done for the day. All I know is that with Joy Coaching, it's a spiritual, not religious program. It's not a particular denomination. We can help with just about any problem. And as far as addictions, any addiction, even porn addiction. Porn's the hardest, they say, to get over. One of the things that happens with porn is that people that are into porn, and God forgive me, I never started, because I'll tell you, I'm an addict. I had problems with everything in my life, and I never trusted myself to go there. So, but people have a harder time admitting that addiction because nobody sees them. They don't get put in jail with a DUI and that kind of thing. So then they keep covering up and justifying. Now, maybe if the spouse finds out, or one of the kids happens to walk in a room or something, but even then they might say something, oh, that's the only time, I never did that before. So it's easier to hide, So porn is really a tough addiction to break, but we can help with that. We can help with just about any issue a human being might have. And everything, when you come in for a Joy Coaching session, it's completely different for you than for anybody else. You're special, your problems are special, and we have special ways to help you. So I hope you give a call, and I hope you have a good week. See you next Thursday. Bye-bye.